day. Incidentally, today we are supposed to have a joint session between agribusiness training and non-agribusiness training. The meeting is slated for 4 hours in the morning session. We have 2 topics of presentation. One is topic 9, ICT in business management, which is supposed to take 2 hours. And then topic number 10 is mentoring, monitoring, and evaluation, which incidentally is supposed to also last for 2 hours. The presenters for this morning are supposed to be Halima Noura Bamali and Mr. David Miracle. Surprisingly, they are the ones who are supposed to start first, but then from all indications, they have asked me to please crave your indulgence to introduce something new in the sense that we are supposed to start with ICT first, then followed by mentoring and monitoring and evaluation. So obviously we are supposed to begin with a practical lesson in mentoring, monitoring, and evaluation. The gentle presenters have asked me to please allow Dr. Adeshina Adewale to please give brief remarks in relation to introduce Dr. Adewale Adeshino to, as a way of introduction, introduce the subject of the day before they will now come on board. And by the way, I also intend to introduce him myself as the moderator. Dr. Adewale Adeshino is a lecturer in computer science and acting director, learning content management. He has been the Adeshino. He has been the brain behind most of our activities in the directorate. And obviously, you can bear witness that it has been successful. He has been a strong pillar, a strong supporting pillar for quite some time. Fundamentally, he is an expert in educational technology, e-learning, information management, computer networks. He is also passionate about education reform that will provide real-life technological experience to young scholars in their learning process. Talking about Adeshino, is talking about a fellow who is passionate about artificial intelligence, learning techniques or technologies, internet security, and the new media. Please welcome Dr. Adewale Adeshino on board. Good morning, you have the floor, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so very much for the very warm introduction. I was wondering who the introduction was for. I hope when I grow up, I'll be like that. It's nice to be here and nice to participate in this wonderful program about building capacity for entrepreneurship in the country, in Nigeria at large. This is what we need at this time. Permit me to just share my screen. I just have a few slides to present before we can go on. Okay, can you all see my screen, please?
Yes, sir, at least I can see.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can see your screen.
Right. Thank you very much. So I will be presenting ICT in business management. Just a brief overview, as the director has mentioned. After I finished this brief overview, my colleagues, Halima, will come up together with Miracle David to work on some practical areas. Others supporting behind the scenes, of course, are Hayatu Ibrahim and Shegun Buhari. This is a very important topic, ICT in business management, because information and communications technology, it's changing the world. You will not recognize the world the way it is today if you are alive 50 years, 60 years ago, or even much more, 100 years ago. By the time you come into this age, things look totally different. But we're going to see how it can help to support business management. So generally, the presentation is about ICTs, benefits of ICTs in business operations, the role of ICT in business, and also some basic ICT knowledge that can help us all. ICT is a topic that is growing every day. What you know today may not necessarily suffice for tomorrow. So we are all learners, and nobody should feel left behind, and nobody should feel that it's too late for me to start. And nobody should even feel that he's ahead, because just a single innovation can change the whole landscape and your knowledge become obsolete. So ICT is a continuous thing, a continuous subject, a very dynamic field, and we're all learning together. So this is a brief overview I will be giving. Now, ICT impacts on business operations severally. As I said earlier on, ICT has dramatically changed how people work today, how we communicate, how we learn, and even how we live. Take, for instance, when the iPhone came up in around 2007, it definitely changed the landscape for mobile devices. And as you and I know that most of us hardly cannot do without having our mobile device with us, even till we sleep, till we wake up. It's part of our dressing. And in fact, once you leave your mobile phone behind, it's as if you've lost something great and you have to go get it. That's how the world has been changed. So, and it continues to revolutionize all parts of human existence, okay? Development and delivery of various technologies are becoming cheaper for both vendors and their customers. So you now have faster processors, faster computing power, and that means more things can be done, even faster storage capabilities. Now, in business, for instance, ICT provides new marketing opportunities. For instance, e-commerce, digital marketing, all these are very new areas that people in business, entrepreneurship, and in fact, all walks of life can leverage on such capabilities. The truth today is that anyone involved in business today must understand technology. Now, if you don't understand technology or use technology or flow with technology, it's very likely that you'll be left behind. A good example sometimes one used to give is Kodak. Many of us may remember Kodak. The younger ones may not, but before digital cameras came, Kodak was a company that manufactured films and cameras. And then you have to put the film into the camera, manufacture, go and wash it and present it. You know, that was the standard all over the world. And they made billions and billions of naira, I mean of dollars, literally. However, as the digital technology came on screen, they were a bit slow in working with the wave of technology. And before you know it, things changed. Digital camera came. Nobody needed to buy film again, go and watch it, and you know, life became more easy for people. So, because they could not work very well with the tide, Kodak went down. They filed for bankruptcy, and today, of course, they are nowhere in the area of digital cameras. And this was a company that was great before. So it's not, ICT is not an area that people can afford to say, it doesn't concern me, I'm just an analog person and all that. It can make or bar a business. So it's a profit, it's an advantage to have great ICT knowledge. Let's look at the definition of ICT, Information and Communications Technology. Actually, it's a very broad area, And I can tell you that 2 hours or more cannot do full justice to such a big program, a big subject, a big topic. However, the basics is what we'll consider, and it will whet our appetite to continue to develop and move further. What ICT refers to all devices, networking components, applications, and systems. Anything we use that is a device that connects to the internet, applications, systems, all are broadly classified under the term ICT, or information and technology, communications technology. They facilitate interaction with the digital world, okay? So, and it deals with processing, storing, and communicating information. As you can see from the definition of ICT itself, you have information. So it's talking about processing that information, storing information, and communicating information here and there. So this is a brief description of the components of ICT. Remember, ICT is anything that relates to computers and digital technologies. You have areas like cloud computing, where documents can be stored in the cloud, or you can process data on the cloud, that's on the internet, on servers that is not close to you. You also have internet access. In fact, for us to connect today for this meeting, you need ICT to be able to do that. Data, communications technology, transactions that happen every day, hardware, software, all these are the various areas that constitute ICT. So you can see it's very broad, and in fact, it goes around the whole world. Now let's look at the role of ICT in business. We're entrepreneurs, we're business people that seek to make profit and seek to create value to the world. But how can ICT help us to achieve these goals? ICT in business can be used for recording data, okay? Lots of data going through any business process, either data about the company, the workshop, about transaction, about sales, about inventory, about staff, about so many things. So that data have to be recorded. The data has to be stored. The data needs at times to be retrieved. You need to retrieve stored data and work with it. The data needs to be processed so that you can get valuable wisdom and information from that data. And the data also needs to be manipulated. And of course, the data also needs to be communicated, or even communicating here and there. So these are broad areas that ICT can be used in business environment. And I can tell you it's very large, and there is nobody involved in any business operation that will not be able to do one of these activities. So, but what are they used for? What are ICTs used for? In administration, maybe we may say my company is very small, my organization is small, my innovation is small, but you'll find out that incorporating ICT right from the beginning can help make life easier, not until you get big. And of course, when you are big, it will be very difficult to operate even without good ICTs. So ICT can be used for administration. For instance, in invoicing, people come in, you give them invoice, you give them receipts and things like that, and all can come from ICT devices and the like. Also for communication, as I said earlier on. In finance, ICT can be used for recording transactions, budgets, cash flow, profit and loss. And I think in a session we had before, there was a demonstration of how ICTs can even be used for budgeting and record transactions. So that's a very good example of ICT in finance. Now, ICTs can be used also in communications. For instance, sending email, contacting clients, contacting suppliers and people around. Instant messages, mobile phone, of course, that's ICT in operation. Also stock management, because business requires us getting stock and also using it for our business processes to get the result. So you need to manage and make sure that stock is not left. If it is feed that is being bought, if it is seeds or whatever, the stock must be properly managed so that the business does not get into a shortage. Then human resource management, as you see, moving in any organization, it goes beyond one person. You have to get a laborer, you have to get people to work with you. In fact, employ people to the highest, graduates and technicians and technologists and all these things. So with time, they need to be properly managed. Things like leave issues, staff-related issues, communication have to be properly managed. And ICTs helps to do that. Also, customer relationship management, very important. The customers are valuable assets in any organization. In fact, that's why the adage is the customer is always right, meaning that you need to manage the customer properly. And of course, ICTs can help to do that. There are customer relationship management systems that achieve that. Then logistic management, things need to be moved here and there. Every entrepreneur, every businessman need to be at grasp, at all these things need to be close to the fingertips of the person, and ICTs help to do that. What are the benefits of ICTs? It can provide significant cost savings. Yes, there might be an initial outlay, you have to buy a device, you have to connect to the internet, but at the long run, it makes the business more profitable. It can help us do things better and faster. It can provide highly automated cost-cutting business processes. Also, with the big data revolution going, as we get more advanced and you're having more data about business, not just your business, about the community, about the country, about the world at large, with data coming in, businesses go global. And businesses, apart from being global, big data can help to provide insights into products and services so that you can know in time decisions to make, things to cut back on, or even new investment opportunities. ICT provides ICT-driven transactions like online shopping, e-payments, and POS, point of sale. Of course, we do that all the time. Many products are coming online. They may need to be marketed, so you might need to have an e-payment system done, an online store for people to contact you, a request for information or a request for your address, and then get your products, okay? And the simple point of POS that we use that makes payment easy, it's an ICT device and it's becoming imperative in every business today. Then of course you have social media, okay? Things like WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, they keep communications alive and social interactions. And we'll have a little bit more of that as we go on. With good social media marketing, people can know about what our products are or what the services are. In fact, people use WhatsApp very well, Instagram, and all these have become important ICT tools. So as we move on in business, it is also nice to bear this in mind, that social media, our scope of influence can be reached to promote the business. So also ICT has benefits in advertising, productivity, online storage, and scalability. But there are disadvantages in ICT that we need to bear in mind, because all things are not all that rosy all the time. There are risks. For instance, there are new levels of crime. You have cybercrime, hackers coming along. I mean, even let's say the basic WhatsApp hijacking moves that goes on is a good example. You just see somebody hijack somebody's WhatsApp, and the next thing is you have information, come and invest on this business, and you get double returns and things like that. That is one of the disadvantages. So security needs to be at the top back of our minds, that our data is not lost and our business group is not frustrated because we refuse to take adequate care of things. So that's a demerit of ICT. With the advent of automation tools and robots, sometimes workers are being displaced, you see, and robots take over some things. So some people consider it as a disadvantage. It is to some instance. However, it means that there are more jobs that are not routine jobs that humans can think about and should be migrating into. Then ICT has stifled human interaction. Of course, the normal, let me see you, come, let me see you, is reducing by a call or by a text. In fact, you can be in the same house with someone and you are not communicating by normal ways. You can communicate even over the phone, despite the fact that you are together in the same place. So some people have described it as a disadvantage of ICT. And of course, when data comes into electronic form, we need to be conversant that we always have backups of whatever we do. Of course, like paper, if things are even kept in hard copies, they could suffer loss too. They could be corrupted. Fire could glut them and things like that. The same thing with ICT things. So there needs to be backup and make sure that our data are not easily susceptible to losses. So these are general comments about ICT and how they revolve around businesses. Now, I just want to take a little bit of time and just to refresh our minds on the computer itself, what it entails and what it can do for us. So there are two basic parts of a computer, which is the hardware and the software. And I think this broad definition makes life easier in terms of understanding what ICT is all about. So the hardware is usually what you can see or what you can touch, okay? The software, these are applications that you buy or applications that you either develop yourself or install in your computer to help you do something, okay? And both are required. If you have hardware and you don't have the requisite software, you may not achieve what you want. And if you have software and you don't have hardware to run it, it's useless. So both work together, and we'll discuss more on it as we go. Of course, the basic part of a hardware, I know this is not a computing course, but just to be aware and also to have a better understanding, basic hardware of a computer has central processing unit, the memory unit, input devices, that's what you use to put data into the computer, output devices, what you use to receive data from the computer, and storage devices. Okay, there are primary storage devices and secondary storage devices. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. So these are the basic parts of a computer. And no matter how big or small the computer is, this is the basic framework of it. This is a typical desktop. And it's nice as we move into businesses, we consider investing in getting a good computer, a good system, maybe a laptop, maybe even a tablet, and or even when there are many people, you consider to get more so that people can become more effective. So you have your system unit, you have your screen, you have your monitor, you have your speakers, mouse, keyboard, or a laptop that does that, and it's important. You may also find it important to get printers, because you may need to print things and of course give invoices or send memos or document some things, or even print your information in hard copy for keeps. So there are different printers you can look at. There are the laserjet printer, the inkjet printer, dot matrix printer. The dot matrix are old printers. They're not usually used today. But laser printers are probably a very good option, because they can help you print large volumes of data. But when you need color and more interesting display, then think of laserjet printers. Let's talk about secondary storage device. Primary storage device are the hard disk that is inside the computer. Most times you don't bother about primary storage device, because when you type a document, for instance, and save it, it goes to your hard disk. It goes to the primary storage device, okay? But secondary storage device are devices that you can carry about, you can remove, okay, and keep data and use as backups or transfer data from one place to the other. Okay, so they usually have no moving parts. They are like flash memory, like you can see on the screen, or USB drives, you know, that is also displayed. So these are secondary storage. So invest in getting a very good secondary storage device. Maybe a backup hard disk, a backup drive, okay? Maybe a big USB or even a memory card. It's important, always keep data backup, keep your data there and use it also to transfer data. Of course, there may be need to get scanning devices as well, where you need to scan documents, send documents, or keep an electronic copies of the document. And there are scanners too. Businesses are using barcode scanners, character and mark recognition devices. Also nice to invest in a good digital camera to keep records, to keep photos. They can become evidences, or they can become important to know the journey of the businesses. So these are devices that are worth getting and putting as part of our arsenal as we work on. Then there are, of course, the software. Remember, basic ICT is hardware and software. We've discussed the hardware, now the software part. So software are instructions that tell the computer how to process data into the form you want, okay? Software, sometimes people call them programs. They are interchangeable, okay? So there are two major types of software. There is a system software and the application software. So the difference is that the system software, it's the operating system that comes with your computer. For instance, when you buy a laptop or a desktop, you put it on, you see Microsoft Windows 10 or Windows 7, thereabout. So all these are operating system software. They direct all the activities and set all the rules of how the hardware and the software will work. So there is no device that can work really without, one form of operating system or the other, okay? Even the phone, the Android, you can see an Android operating system, or an Apple device will have like an iOS, that's iOS operating system on it, okay? Mac, also Linux, all these are operating systems that help drive the computer to make it even come up in the first place before you can do other things. Okay, then we have the application software, and this is really where we'll dwell very much in our applications of ICT in business management. A lot of applications are available for us to use. So application software are programs that work with the operating system and helps the computer to do specific tasks, okay? Now there are different ways people count it, but some have said that there are 6 basic types of application software. That is an application you can put to do some specific task in your computer. One of them is business software, okay? So here we are talking about ICT in business management. To be able to manage our businesses with technology, you need business-related software. This includes word processors, okay, spreadsheets, and database programs. We'll talk a little bit later about them, but all this is things like your Microsoft Word, okay, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access. They are word processor, spreadsheet, and database. And there are several types, but Microsoft Office probably is the most popular across the world. Then there are communication software that allows computers to communicate with other computers, for instance, like the fax, the Novell Netware, AOL, modem software. These are things that help to communicate around. For instance, let's say a router, a wireless router, or this, if you buy an internet subscription from, say, Airtel or MTN, they can give you a modem. So within that modem, there is a communication software on it that helps to cause internet to be transferred and for you to connect successfully. Then there are graphic software. Okay, sometimes you want to make a very beautiful graphics with your camera, or with, you've taken the photos, you want to edit it. So there are programs like Photoshop, Print Shop, and GIMP, many of them you can think of. They help you to manipulate graphics and come up with very beautiful design that you can use in advertisement, and you can do this. I want to challenge us that even as entrepreneurs or people working with businesses, we should not feel that you need an expert And that's why we're taking this course, and this course is embedded in the curriculum. You don't need an expert to do a lot of all these things. You can do them yourself. You can learn. Nobody is an ICT expert in code. Everybody is learning, it's a work in progress. So once the interest is there and you believe that you can do it, you'll be able to do it. But if you say, no, these things I cannot do it, of course, it's already self-defeating. So you can actually work on several things and save money. You can learn to work with graphics and design things yourself. And somebody can come, of course, to assist you, but you could go a long way. Your concepts is in your head. You'll be able to explain it and communicate it more. So I challenge us that let's get more familiar. Let's take bold steps to learn all these tools. Then you have education and reference software for those in education, encyclopedia, doing references and things like that. Then, of course, there is entertainment and leisure software, games. A lot of us are familiar with games on our phones. So these are specific application software tailored towards entertainment. Then there are the so-called integrated software that you have several things together coming on, so that is integrated. All right, so especially with application software, the basic thing is computer information processing. So computer, of course, is an electronic machine that follows sets of instructions in order that it may accept, gather data, and transform that data into information. So talking about application software, all what it's about is you have your data, somehow that data is being processed, and it is given and it becomes information, okay? So useful data processed, and then it becomes information. Let's talk a little bit about networks. So right now we've talked about hardware, software, basically on your own self, with your own organization. How about connecting with the world? That is where networks become important, okay? You'll find out that by the time you have computers, you have all these things, you cannot exist alone, okay? So a network is a group of computers that share information and hardware. Okay, so computers are connected together using different means. For instance, you can have copper wire connecting, that's wire cables that connect your computers together. You can have fiber optic cables, maybe as in office, or radio waves, like you can see in the diagram, you have wireless. And maybe many of us are using one of these. So that is working in a network. And you need that today because the internet is just basically you and I connecting together. That's what makes the internet. So the internet is many networks around the world that are connected together to make one huge network. So internet offers lots of services like file transfer between internet users, emails, and things like that. You also have intranet. That is within your organization, you can have one or two computers connected together alone without connecting to other people. It becomes an intranet. And as the organization or the business gets big and you have people, of course, you'll not be leaving your computer for everybody to use. You may need to connect, get another computer, and then find a way to connect together so that you can share data. Now, so when these are at the back of our minds, when we get there, we'll be able to invest on the necessary resources to get it done. Just a little about email. Of course, we are familiar with it, but just to reiterate that in today's world, it is an essential means of communication, electronic mail, not just the physical mail. Of course, many of us will probably not remember when we send a physical mail last. Most mails we send these days are electronic mails, okay? So transmitting messages over electronic networks. So there are, actually email has been said to be the most popular service on the internet. Many things are there, but email, almost everybody uses it. And I'm sure you'll see that even to connect with us in this program, one of the requirements is send an email, use your email. And those that had incorrect emails had problems. So and as businesses, it's also nice to think about having your business email, not just your personal email, because as it grows, other people may need to access information and things like that, and it might not be easy when everything is just coming to you. Okay, so you can set up emails in Gmail, in Yahoo, Outlook. Many free email services are available, and they are quite effective. Now I talked about business applications, and the Microsoft Office application actually is one of them, the best or the most popularly used. So you have in the Microsoft application, you have the word processing, which is a Microsoft Word. Okay, so it allows you to create a variety of documents, letters, resumes, memos that can be sent to people, documents for advertisement and things like that. The Microsoft Word is useful for that. Then Excel is another application that is widely used in business, as I mentioned before. You can store, organize, and analyze information on Microsoft Excel. So whether you are keeping a budget, organizing a transaction, creating an invoice, Excel can make the work really, really good. Then many people don't learn PowerPoint, but it's also good because you may need to present your ideas to people and to help generate and get more funds. So getting up to speed with PowerPoint, for instance, is not a bad idea. And it's actually easy because a PowerPoint is used for instance, in presenting this particular discussion or lecture or seminar. Then you have Microsoft Access. Now, this is a database. Now, it's a little bit involving because now when you want to keep data, records, and things like that, after Excel, the next more advanced tool is Access. And it's also, there are lots of programs that can help us to know how to use it. And they are not so difficult and they are widely available. Just as an example, when you leave the basic software, like the Microsoft Office, there are now more even specialized software that can be used. For instance, in farm management, I just use that as an example. Just searching online, I discovered there are lots of special applications that can be used for farm management, like AgriV, Granular, Trimble, Farm ERP, Farm Logs, AgeWorld, AgriWeb, Conservices. So 9 important applications. In fact, they rated it as the 9 best applications to use in farm management. This kind of application help you to do things like forecasting. You forecast and measure profit. You develop plans. You track and measure field activities, measure risk portfolio, things like that. So these are specialized software that can be used in your area. So sometimes you might want to find out more about something like this, that I'm doing a fishery or I have a farm, and how do they manage a farm with an ICT device, with an ICT software? And you can just look for one of these software and install them and see how they can help you to forecast, how you can measure your profits and have valuable data. Of course, you can start with Excel, but as we grow, and as we want more efficiency delivered, you want to do things faster and more secure, some of this software can become useful and they can really, really help to make the business more profitable. So at this note, I would just like to say a very big thank you for flowing with me up till now. My aim is just to give a broad overview of generally how ICT can impact business processes, management of business. And I'm sure I've just only scratched the topic, the surface. And for many of us, of course, this is like a reinforcement of what we are familiar with one way or the other. So I want to thank you, and I thank the organizers for the opportunity to deliver this. Thank you very much. So right now, I'll hand over to my other colleagues who will like to take us through practical sessions of some of the important ICT tools practically now. To let us have a small demonstration or hands-on. Thank you. So over to you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Adewale Adeshino, for the brilliant and educative presentation. Dr. Adeshino was able to tell us the benefits of ICT in business operation, the roles of ICT in business. Generally, it tends to facilitate business in terms of communication, documentation. This way, it will add value to whatever we do. Not only that, it generally simplifies life, or it makes life easier. Happy enough, despite the advantages we have in relation to what ICT is, he was able to give us a few words in relation to the disadvantages of ICT. You can recall the activities of Yahoo Boys as it is. At this juncture, I would want to introduce the next set of presenters. I suppose Mrs. Halima Nura Bamali is in the house. She's a system analyst in the Directorate of Management Information System. She is indeed a reputable ambassador of her directorate. To us, she's always there whenever the need arises for her to help us. She's always there to help us. I will want to call upon Mrs. Halima Nura Bamali to take the floor. Ma, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And we thank our able director for the presentation he did. So in ICT, as our director said, no one is perfect. All of us are still learning. And we are just here to give a guide, not the full knowledge. I advise our participants to be friendly to what YouTube, because it gives you more videos on how to learn and have more knowledge on things. What we are going to focus on now is the Microsoft Excel. It's when you are going to start a business, you really need this software to work with, to keep your the staff information, and also the details of your day-to-day record. So for this, we have a small guide on how to document a staff information. As you can see here, we are going to use 5 participants here, which we are going to take them as our staff for the company. So I think this is an interactive class which all of us are going to learn. So you can help me out with a staff ID so that we can interact with one another. Okay, you can help me put in the chat.
Okay. Adiojo Samuel 001. Yes, I do it. Adeojo, not Ade. I do.
Mommy, I'm entering.
Okay.
You just spoke. Hello, ma.
Hello, I can hear you.
It's Adeojo, not Adoejo.
I think it's very sorry with the spelling. It's just a guide that we are not really using it to store. We are just trying to just work on something.
No problem, no problem. Or your state. No. Oyo
House
State.
address, you can just put Oyo State just to make the thing straightforward. Appointment date. Do we have any suggestion? Maybe you can just put 12, maybe 06/2019. Phone number can be anything. Date of promotion, you can just use 17/05. Okay, then the main focus of this is to know how to document the data. We just made this Excel record to capture maybe the salary of a person, and if there is a loan a person have took from part of his salary in the organization. So we are just putting maybe car loan and other deductions so that we can see how to deduct the loan amount from the salary before the end of the month. So for us to know what we are going to, the leftover of that individual. Maybe let's say the person have collected maybe 5,000 from his salary, and other deductions maybe 1,000 or so. So when you want to do this, this is where the idea of the formula in the Excel comes from. So whenever you want to type a formula, you start with equals to. So it depends on what you want to do. For this, we want to sum up the, first before we, sorry, I forgot to create a cell. Let's say this deduction total. And maybe the leftover. So to get the deduction total, this what we do is to get the equality equals to, then if you like, you can use the formula to get it, or you use the formula bar to type, or you type on the cell. So we are going to use the cell. If you start typing, there will be a drop down on all the formulas that you might need on the Excel workbook. So you want to take this. So when you get this, you have to put a bracket first. So you select the cell that you want to add up, put a comma between them, and click to another cell, which will give you this. So when you are through, you just click on enter for you to have the total number that you have, the total deduction for the loan that individual took. So when you want to have, so if you want to have the leftover, what you do is you click on this, the cell under the you click on the cell under the So I think let's try to add up some first, then we'll go to the other. So for this, we can use maybe 2, 3, 2 for it. Then we can use any state for this person, since we are just trying. Then this two, we can just put final state for this. Maybe its appointment date can be 13th, maybe 03, since it's just a trial. For this, then maybe the basic salary can be 100. Let's say maybe the person did not collect anything, or he collected maybe a sum, a minimum sum, maybe, and this one too has just to have. And for this total, what you do, since already you have the formula, you can just go down like this. So it will use the same formula that you already have, you already imputed, to give you the total for the total deduction. Do you have any suggestion?
No.
Any suggestion?
Okay.
Can someone give us any suggestion? Since there is no suggestion, you can just put on.
Halima, Halima,
Hello, sir.
hello, be liaising with the person by your side, because most of us are muted.
Okay.
For suggestions, you talk to the person by your side to offer suggestions. Thank you.
Who is the host?
Presenter, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm trying to type up
Okay.
something on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So let's try to input the phone number of the individual. Let's say 55. Then the promotion date maybe 12, maybe 04 2020. Then the amount, the salary, the monthly salary, let's say 2,200. A role as what?
Manager.
Okay. Maybe the loan for the manager, maybe 20. Other deductions, maybe 10,000. So let's try imputing the rest. Maybe that this ID 35. Okay. Delta State. Let's try Delta State for him as the address. Then date of appointment date, maybe okay 03 2020. But the phone number can be maybe 07023574789 something. The appointment date, he might not be appointed, or he may be appointed. The promotion he may or may not be. So if you like, you can put fill or something you want to, just for you to fill up the cell. For the salary, maybe since he's a startup, we can put maybe 13,000 for him. Manager, maybe we can put maybe cleaner or maybe operator. For the car loan, since he is starting, we may not have anything he may not have collected anything. For the other deduction, maybe he collected 1,000 for a start. For the last person, maybe you can say 12, maybe Lagos State, or maybe that can be Apapa. This date of appointment might be 10/04. Maybe is the person maybe that we start off with. Then the phone number can be 96768290. Day of promotion can be 12, maybe 01 2019. Salary maybe can be 250. Operator, maybe maybe supervisor. Car loan, maybe the person collected maybe 20,000. For other loan, maybe 2,000. So this is what we do. Since already we have our formula, we can just drag down to get what we want. So it will give you the total of the staff deductions. So for the leftover, you can just say, this is what we have. The salary here is on I. You can either use formula or you can just write I4 minus the total deduction of M4 to get what you have. Well, ideally, you can try using the formula from this. Yes. Put this, then sorry, I forgot the equal sign. Then the I, you can use the I4 minus this M4 to get this. So it's either you use the formula or you use this, but make sure when you are imputing the formula, your equality sign must be there. So since you have this as the first one, you can just drag down to get for the remaining. So using Excel is much easier and straightforward so far as you know what you really want. So if this is a sample of an Excel record for staff document, so you can still do the same, but I've already done this. Maybe when for the real business, getting the revenue you have. So for it too, it goes in different ways. It's either you document daily, weekly, or monthly, but preferably it's better you do the documentation daily, because that's when you will know what you have put in and what have come in for you. So I think these are the little that we can have for the Excel. The other side is the PowerPoint. Looking at the presentation our director, Dr. Adewale, did, I think he has shown us a practical aspect of the PowerPoint. So I will hand over the class to the next presenter.
But before you do that,
do we have any question, please?
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello. Before
I'm
you
hearing,
do that,
sir.
okay, before you do that,
okay,
you know this session is an interactive session.
yes,
Some of
sir.
us are not exactly computer literate.
Expert,
You
okay.
just jumped into this application without telling us how to arrive at this application. Kindly see if you can put us gently how to do and how to go about it. You know, you just launched everything, and some of us are not that conversant with the ICT world.
Okay, I think the first thing you do is to make sure that you have your Microsoft Office installed on your system. So when you have the installation, you just go to your start menu, then you just search for your Excel. You just scroll down to your icons that you have and select the Excel record, just like this. So it opens up for you.
Okay.
Sorry,
right, thank you.
Okay. So
okay.
This is what you have. The blue cell here is your cell. And this is, okay. The page that opens for you is your workbook. And if you look below this, you have your cell, your worksheet. Normally, it opens one worksheet, but if you need additional one, you can just click on this plus sign to get any additional sheets on your Microsoft Excel. So this is your cell, and this one is your formula bar. And these ones are the menu, which you have if you want to format anything, change anything, that's where you go. This, you can insert something, you can change a layout, your formulas are here, the data, and lots more. So you can, when you have the record, maybe you have maybe 1,000 staff in an organization where you have a high number of staff, maybe from different locations. So you can sieve out the data of the, if maybe you have, you want to know the number of staff you have in each state, it's also done there. So there are lots of things which you can learn on the Excel. So for us to go more deep on it, we don't have that time. That's why with the first time I start my presentation, I told you people that we are just learning a basic of it. So the best thing all of us can do is to be friends with YouTube. It's on YouTube, you'll get more information and a lot of things that you need to know. So have I asked your question? Have I answered your question?
Yes, it was an observation. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
All right.
So any
Just
question?
like any question again? Has anyone any question for Halima? All right. In the absence of any question, I want to call upon our next presenter, Mr. David Miracle Joshua. In fact, left to me, I'll prefer calling him Miraculous David, because from my interactions with him and from the lesson I had with him last Sunday, he is such a good hand in ICT world. Let's listen to him attentively and see if we can benefit from his presentation. Mr. Miracle, the floor is open for you.
Thank you so much, sir. I also want to greet everyone that's in this class at the moment. I'm sure we've been enjoying this session so far. Okay, so I also want to thank Hajia Lima for the presentation. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us on how to do all these calculations in Excel. I'm sure many of us have learned how to do some kind of simple calculation. So you don't actually need calculators, every time. You can just bring out your spreadsheet and then you can do whatever calculation you want to do there. And just as she has been reiterating, there are a lot of things that you can learn online. You don't really you need to pay someone to do anything for you. You can just sit down, carve out a little time for yourself and you will learn a lot of things. Most of the time, if you look at it this day, the real educational system that we have now, much of the learning is actually done online. Much of the practicals that you can get is online. So you don't need that physical teacher, really. And then you don't need to pay too much for some services that you can actually do yourself. So I'll just be going through a few things. I'll just go through just a little bit of practicals, but we'll be doing much of talking here. I will be sharing experiences. So I'm going to go into how to use social media to push your business. I'm sure most of us who are into business, you have at one point or the other used your social media to push or move your business to the next level. So what you're going to be doing for us is that you'll be sharing your experiences. Sometimes is it what they call it now? The theory is good, yeah, but the practical itself is better. You understand? So you're going to share with us how this thing has helped you, the things you've done, what you did good, and then give you like a good, should I say, turnout. and then what you did that didn't work out, you know, you can share it with us so that we can learn. You know, we are trying to, you know, share experiences so that all of us can learn and make sure that at least in one way or the other, we use these devices to push our businesses. So please, later on, you're going to be sharing your experiences on how you've actually used social media. And okay, that's fine. How you can use social media to push your business. So later on, please, I'll be calling on people. So please, just indicate on the chat if you're going to share that experience with us so that we can learn from you. So I'll be going straight into emails. So if you go to your course page, you're actually going to see quite a lot of things there concerning the ICT in business. Now there's a lot of videos there that has been done by the director there, you know, very explanatory and very nice. I'm sure if you look at that video and you watch them, you will learn a lot of things. Like these applications that have been shared with us recently, there are actually explanations there. And then from what we've seen, like for the PowerPoint, when the director was talking about giving an overview of what ICT in business is, you can see how his slides were. There were not too many informations. If you notice, he didn't really read too much from the screen. So that's why it's actually important that whenever you want to do a presentation, I'm talking about PowerPoint now, when you want to do a business presentation, ensure that you have a full understanding of what you want to do in the first place. So what you're going there to do is just to itemize things, you know, and then make sure that you're not actually reading from what you have on your screen, you are actually reading it from here. So even if you need to read something, it's just to give you maybe like an overview or just to remind you of something you have to talk about. You know, it gives the listener more, it helps them to see you as an authority in what you're speaking or what you're saying. You know, when you put in a lot of information on the screen and you keep reading out to those who are presenting to, you know, it's kind of, you know, some of them could even read ahead of you, so they may not even need you anymore, you understand? So those are part of the things, those are part of the tips that, of course, we saw in that PowerPoint. And then if you notice, most of the slides had pictures. You know, you need to make it interactive. You need to make some of us, you saw how beautiful it looked. So once you go on the platform, you will see how to do some of these things, the basic things that you need. Then if you need the advanced method, you're going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So now let's quickly go into mail. Let me just quickly share my screen. When the director was talking about mails, that's in the video on the platform, she talked about signatures. So I'm just going to show you how to, you know, make use of signatures on your mails. That is having a name, more like a contact card as part of your mail whenever you send them. Very easy when you're using a Gmail. I'm sure it's quite easy also for Outlook and whichever messaging application that you are making use of. So let me share my screen, and let's start from here. So let me compose something here. For example, I don't know if you can all see this. I'm sure you can all see this. You can see my screen. Yeah. So if you notice here, you can see something here very faint, but that's my full name. And then it gives you an information, okay, this dude here is working here. And then this is more like the address of how to get to me. So if I wanted, I would have inputted my mobile number there, or perhaps put my social media account there so you can reach me. So if I'm sending you a mail, no matter what I'm typing to you, I can leave that information there so that in case, you know, you may not really remember to always add your contacts, maybe in the subject, sorry, not in the subject, in the body of whatever you're sending, but the person can see it in your signature. So how do you do that? If you look at my pen, there's a pen icon over here. You can see it here, say insert signature. So once I click on this, you see that it has many options there. The reason why it's saying my signature, why my signature is ticked here is because I'm actually using one. So first of all, I think I've jumped. So let me start over again. So if you have a Gmail, I'm sure you know how to get to Gmail, but let's start. If you have a Gmail account, you know you have Google, you just type in Gmail sign in. So that should give you, put you here, and then you click on Gmail, whichever one comes up. Either you click on this or you click on this. And if you have already signed in, it will bring you back to this. But in case if not, you input your username and then you'll be able to sign in into your box. Now let's go back to where we were, and then you click on the pen icon. So once you click on the pen icon, and you can actually remove it by saying no signature, but I want to manage the signatures that are here. Now you can see what we have here. I have typed in something. You see something that I formatted, and then for some certain reasons, I decided to make it faint or use should I say, a color that is not too shouty, so that it doesn't take too much attention away from what I'm actually sending to you in the body. So it's just like an extra information about me, but shouldn't be too profound or too pronounced. That's the way I want it. But if you actually want yours to be pronounced, it's fine. It's not as if it's a rule or something, or it's just preference. So it depends on what you want. So if I want to create another signature, I can just click on create new, and then signature name, say social accounts and all that. Sorry. And then create, and then, type it, maybe Instagram, maybe then I put, say at whatever, and then I have Twitter, and then I put at, any username and all that, probably LinkedIn, okay, linked, yeah. LinkedIn, and then I put my LinkedIn name, then Facebook, just the way it is, as simple as this. So you just put in what you want there, and then you choose it. So you can, now you come over to signature default here. When you have, you can actually have a lot of signatures. So once you have a lot of signatures outlined there, you have named them, so you know which one you want to use per time. So for new emails, say I want to send a new email, what signature should I use? Okay, I want to use my signature, this one that contains who is sending it to you and all that. Then on reply, I want you to use this other one. So if I send you an email, this is the first thing you see. Then if you send me a reply and I'm trying to reply or get back to you, I want it to show my social account. So you can choose that. Depends on how you want to format anything you will. Everything here is based on preference, but it's actually good as a business person to ensure that your everything that you, every information that pertains to you is actually made available to those who you are sending your mails to. So I think that's just pretty much all about the signatures. So I'm going to be jumping, let me jump into the social media aspect now. So, I've talked about, telling us more about social media to those of us that have used it. I'm going to get back to that. So I'm going to put the floor open very soon. So we'll just get, chats from, not chats really, but let's say, yes, you are going to share your experiences. Yes, better put as experiences on how you've been using it so far. So let's go straight to, let me see. Okay, so social media account, of course, I'm just going to rush through the security part of it. Now, some people may be a little bit skeptical about using social media, when you hear that, okay, they took somebody's account, do this and all that and all that. There are actually ways at which you can secure your account. When the director was talking about the, say the disadvantage of the disadvantage or whatever about social media, there's some people that actually try to use this in the ways that it's not meant to be used. But in order to secure yourself, secure your business, secure everything that you're doing to ensure that it doesn't go into the hands of the wrong people, you need to set up some certain security features. And these are things that people overlook and is actually very important. Like for example, you have a business account, say you opened a business name for maybe an Instagram account and you have your business there. I wanted to talk about something, but I'm expecting somebody to share that with us as an experience. So if that doesn't come up, then I'll talk about it. Now, you wouldn't want somebody else to gain access to your page because you don't want, some false information going around to your prospective customers or your customers. So you need to set some certain security features, and these security are like their authentication methods that have been put in place by the applications themselves. Now, if you notice, there is I've forgotten the name of this authentication method, but it secures your account in such a way that if somebody is trying to log into your account on a new device, it alerts you, it alerts your phone. So in such a way, you kind of reduce the, should I say, the prospect of somebody taking control of your business account or whatever it is you use, and also say your data generally. So those are methods. If you, it's very simple to go. To do. You just go to the security of your phone. Once you get there, you see the authentication method. There's actually two-party authentication method or something like that. Once you see there, you can choose to either get an email when somebody logs into your account from a different device that is different from the one you've logged in at the moment, or whichever. You can choose a text message to your phone or a mail, just as I've said, and any other one. Say, take for example, you can have another device to kind of tell you, or to kind of use as an authentication method, kind of. So you ensure that, okay, whenever I'm trying to log into my account, this particular phone should be with me while I'm using my tablet to log in. So the tablet communicates with the phone and ensure that, okay, yes, the person using this account actually is the owner of this account. So that is not something that you should overlook. Please try as much as possible to go to your security and ensure that these things are put in place. Now, your passwords that you use for these accounts. Now, most of the time we use very, very simple passwords, and that's what ensures or kind of gives these people that do all this havoc a leeway to mess with our data. So ensure that whenever you're trying to secure your account, you don't use passwords that can be easily guessed, like your age. For example, people lose their ATM cards, and then you see them, begin to fear that somebody could actually go there, withdraw and all that. Is because you use your date of birth. And if somebody that knows you or knows your date of birth, the person can withdraw money from your account using your ATM card. So in that instance, it's actually great that you ensure that anytime you want to use a password on anything, you use something that is not associated to you. You don't use your children's date of birth. You don't use your date of birth. You don't use your children's name. Of course, they are easy to remember, but also easy for somebody to guess. So then how do you then generate a very good password? Now, you can use a combination of characters, things that you can remember, but then things that cannot easily be guessed. And then there's actually another method of trying to ensure that you have a good password. You can actually generate it online by using this password generator. So these are actually, you can see the URL here, lastpass.com/password generator. It's just to give you an idea on how to generate a very strong password. For example, you can see here, you have I, you have 8, you have a capital letter Y, you have a capital letter A, and small letter P, you have 8. You can see that there's a lot of characters here being juggled up together in such a way that you cannot really guess this. It doesn't make sense that somebody will sit down and get this. It's not possible. But this could actually be, I could be your, maybe the beginning of your first name. 8 could maybe be the day, let's say, maybe your date of birth. You can actually put the day maybe as 8. And then Y could be your cousin's name. A could be maybe the name of your dog, or the name of your cat, or the name of your goats, if you name your goats. And then you can just put in things that you can remember, but it's not easily guessed by people. Now, how you can actually generate this, depends on what you want. For example, let me tell the system now that I want a password. Yes. So I want a password that is just 8 character long. So I type in that and say unlock. Nope, I want 8. Doesn't even want to give me 8. That's interesting. All right. So you can see here, he has given me kind of a password here, something that I can use, and it's 8 letters or 8 characters. And then it has uppercase, lowercase numbers, and symbols. So this is just to generate a password, but of course, it's always good to have a kind of password that you can easily remember. So now there's actually a way again to check how strong or how secure your password is. Now, if you want to check all this, it's actually easy. How I got here, for example, here, password generator is all I typed into Google to bring out this password generator that I had. So you see a password generator, and then it brings this for me. So you can see here we have this strong random password. We have LastPass. This LastPass that I'm using. You can use random.org, depends on whichever one you want to use. Same thing goes for the one I'm about to show you now. How strong is my password? Okay, you can see here how secure is my password, password strength meter, and all of that. You can actually use this, to just play around with them to check how strong your password is and all that. So what I'm going to do now is I want somebody to, it doesn't have to be your password. Please don't post your password, but in the chat, someone should please post a password for me, something that, you feel is strong enough. So just post something like a password, and then I'm going to copy it from the chat box, and then I'll paste it here. So let's see how easy it is for a system. Actually, you can build it. People actually have systems that guess people's password with a combination. It just keeps on running till it gets it. So now give us your password. Let's see how long it's going to take a system to crack that password. So we have one here. Okay, great. I'm seeing a lot of, wow. This password from Hayatu is okay. Okay. I've gotten one here. So let's start with blackout Z at 001. So and let's put that here. Wow. Okay. So it will take a computer about 3 million years to crack your password. Now, how passwords are actually cracked is that these systems keep checking series of numbers, and then keep checking, okay, first you have to, the system will have to check from all lowercase letters, then check higher case letters. I mean, that's the bigger case, as the capital letters, and then check symbols, then check all possible symbols and combinations before it can actually guess your password. So that's why it's good to have a lot of symbols inputted in your password. That's why as you can see, blackout here has a kind of symbol imputed, and that's why it actually takes a lot of time to crack his own password. Although this password still can be easy for somebody who knows you. So you need to be very careful. So we have this, this very, I wonder how Mr. Yatu is going to remember this password, but let's put it here nonetheless. Let's see how, okay, it will take 101 million years to crack your password. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's pick another person's password. Let's see how long it will take to get your password. Sorry, let me quickly pick this. I don't know where my chat box ran to. Where is it now? Sorry. Thank you. So, okay, let me pick this simple one. Okay, I'm here, sir. So I'm picking this one from, sir?
Benison Jesse at
WHA
007.
All right, sir. All right, sir. I'll pick that now. So we have Akojo Panchi here, which is just words. Yeah, it could look secure on these sites, But then you can see how it changed color here. You can see that all the passwords we've been putting have been in green, but this part actually changed color. Do you know why? It's because all the things that you put in here are actually just letters. Forget about how long it takes. It might not really take this long to get your password, but once you use just letters in your password, it's actually not as secure as you think. For example, the password he put is very simple. So if I know this person, I could actually use it. So now let's use this password from Benson JC. I think this should just be the last one so that we can move on. No, I think I can still pick more. And then let's paste this and see. It's going to take the system 19 minutes to get your password. So you've lost all your data. Benson, sorry, let me get that. Benson JC, all your data is gone. We've gotten your password. It's so easy. So let me pick this one from Shakiru Ayontola. And 16 hours, very easy. Let me just pick one more. At least we all get the concept of why I'm doing all of this. It's important that you have secure password. So let me go to the last person, Al Jazeera at 50A. Someone used 2008. Why now? let me quickly put that. I'll put 2008 here. 200 nanoseconds. And then they've gotten you. So let me put just this last one from Zachary Garba, and 200 years, fair. So let me just go away from here. At least we've gotten the idea. We've gotten the idea of what I'm trying to pass, the information. Secure your account. Ensure that you're not putting passwords that are easily guessable. And do not put passwords that can easily be social engineered away from you. For example, like I said, maybe your age, your date of birth, maybe where you come from, the first place you live, the name of your cat, name of your dog, and all that. Those should not be your password. Now, that is that about the password generator. You can go online, type in Google, and then check how these things work. Now, advertisements, whether it be on Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, you're going to talk about that. But I want to quickly share something. Might be a little bit, easy. But let me just see what we are going to react to when we see that. So I'm going to put up that picture, and then while we get set to share your experience while using social media, how did you use it? What worked for you? What didn't work? And kind of business you are in, so that we can have an idea of what you did, to kind of push your business to a next point. So I have here QPack. I hope we can see that. Okay, we may not be able to see it, so I have to share, new share, and share this. And it's a very, very familiar, it's a very familiar picture. So I'm going to leave this here. We're going to come back to it. So now, let someone, maybe 2 to 3 people, share your experience. Yeah, I know you have been using Facebook, you have been using Instagram, you have been using Twitter. How has it helped your business? What did you do? What best practices did you use that gave you results? Share with us so that we can learn from you. We don't want to just talk about post this picture on Twitter, do like this, do like that. You have used it. You have used this method and it has worked for you. So teach us, share your experience with us so that we can learn from you. So I'm going to be stopping here for now. So who is going to share with us for the first time?
Before then,
okay, sir.
Mr. Presenter, before then, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is a question for you.
Okay,
Someone
sir.
is asking, how can we link all our social media accounts together? How?
Yes.
Is it possible? If it is possible, how can we do it?
Okay, now I was actually going to get into that. The reason I didn't want to talk about that is because we're actually going to talk. I actually expected something like that from somebody, sharing experiences with us. So I'm actually going to get there.
Okay.
But let me just briefly run through it. Now, if you notice, now that whenever you want to share WhatsApp status, it gives you option of maybe share to Facebook. I don't know if anybody has noticed that. Has anybody noticed that? Just maybe yes or no in the chat.
Yes.
So I can know. Okay, great. So you can see that it's after is a Facebook acquired WhatsApp. I think they have also acquired Instagram. You can see that they are now closely related, that whatever you share on one can actually be seen on the three if you share it to those three accounts. So you can link them as long as they are all on your phone. You can link them all together. So it's actually possible. So it's not something that is not possible. The only difference is that, okay, maybe say Twitter, Facebook did not acquire, or Zuckerberg has not been able to acquire Twitter because Twitter is not willing to sell. So that one may be out, may be on its own. But as for every other thing that is owned by Facebook, you can see that the interaction between these apps are actually very easy. So you can actually have them linked together. But I also advise that you don't use the same password for all of them. Yes, I know it can be hard having to put a lot of things in your head and then add passwords to it and all that, but it is good to have these things in place. So it can actually be linked, and even the authentication methods can also be linked. You can have a single application, like for Android devices, you can download like a Google Authenticator or something. I'll remember and then I'm going to let us know. So it is that app that will be giving you a password to input into your social media account. So on no account will somebody be able to hack or take possession of data that you don't want them to get. So I don't know if I was able to do a little bit of justice to that, but I'm sure somebody who has been using social media will surely have another idea. So I'm expecting someone now, 2 or 3 people, share with us, share your experiences with us.
Not a justice. You did a miracle to it, not a justice.
Thank you, Ma. Okay. I want somebody who has made use of, you've sold something online before. How do you think you achieved that? Was it the WhatsApp you used? Was it Instagram you used? Was it Twitter you used? Was it Facebook? If it was any of those ones, how did you use it and it gave you a result? So I'm expecting something from somebody. So let's be fast because we don't have much time. Someone.
Hello?
Okay, yeah. Okay,
good morning,
Jesse.
everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
There are a couple of tools online that one can use. For instance, I use a Convert Kit, which when you set up your account and you upload your pictures, put your details, it creates even a landing page for you, email marketing, and all that. So it generates everything, and you can share with your Twitter account, Instagram, and all that from there. And there are numerous softwares online. There's even one that is Nigerian proprietary software. It's called foxlam.com. It does the same thing too. So you can put up adverts and then it updates even your timeline on your Facebook account.
Wow, so what? Okay, do you want to add something?
Yes, but also there are downsides to all this. There are some softwares that they do some of these things for you, but the main idea is to steal your identity. So one has to know the type of software to download. Because
okay, so which one can you recommend? Which one can you recommend for us to check out?
Mostly, if you look at where it's being hosted, especially softwares that don't come with HTTPS now.
Okay.
You should try, you should try and avoid those ones.
Okay.
And if you check, you will not see names, or the names are mixed with numbers or letters. It's actually to redirect. The original software may be somewhere else. So one single number can change everything. For instance, now if it's e-learning now, I can go and put e-learning now, and then I'll put .001, and then send it to a lot of people. And then they will make payments to me instead of going to the organization itself.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are the things. When it comes to internet security, up till now, a lot of people are not well aware of what to do, because the computer is just one thing, and then the person using it is another. So what it's programmed to do is what it will do. And then what one has to be careful about, it's also another level that a lot of people are not still aware of in the IT system.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So what I'm just going to request from you is, you talked about, there was an application you talked about the first time that, sends updates to whether it is is it your social media accounts. You can just put it on the chat so that some of us who are new to this can, make quick research on them and see how it can help our business. So thank you so much for that. We're so grateful for that experience sharing, Mr. Kezi. So I think we have hands raised from Ayatollah Yamaman. So I'm sure he uses social media. So what I'm going to do is request him to unmute himself, because I think you can do that. Ayatollah Yamaman. Okay, is he still with us? All right, if it's not with us, we have Fern Solar Technologies. Can you try unmuting yourself and give us your own participation?
Hello.
Okay,
Hello?
yeah. Okay, Ayatollah is back. So Fern Solar, you can just chill
Hello?
for a moment. Okay, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah, Maman.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I use basically the business I'm doing is I do it based on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. In fact, like the trade is just like not face-to-face interaction. I'll advertise my good. I post it to a group through WhatsApp. There's a lot of group where you can advertise your good. I advertise with my number. If you want my things, we chat on a Twitter. WhatsApp or through Messenger. Place your order. Give me your detail. Send me my account number. Pay me my money, and then I'll now order your things and send it and send the driver's number to you.
Yes.
And later on I'll follow up to see if you collect your good and get the feedback. That's what I majorly use. So that's why I say let me use the opportunity. Probably maybe I'll think of maybe opening my shop, put my stuff instead of maybe collecting from the dealers and selling. So let me like be a small dealer myself. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that. So what you just you can just add to that is, which one do you think is more efficient based on the ones that you have used? So which one do you think most of your customers come from? Then how do you think they came? How did you fashion your advertisement? What was your strategy? Is it that is it just words you put in, or you accompanied it with pictures, or you did a short video? So what did you do that brought the customers that you have related with over time in your business?
Okay, this is I use Facebook more because through Facebook you can reach a lot of people. Like I said, I like through different business groups. There's a lot of groups that you see. Some have more than 200,000 members, some more.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
if you go there, first of all, when you reach there, they will ask you some questions to know how genuine we are. When you answer, they will now accept you. From then, you can be posting your advert. I immediately use Facebook, and I display my good, what I have at the moment, because all those stuff you're seeing, when they open the things, they will send it to me from majorly Kano, since it's textile. They'll send it to me. This is what we have available for now. So I'll now quickly put them on the platform. So anyone you see select, we now negotiate the price. You pay me. I'll now send the order down to the customer. I put pictures, sometimes videos, and I put some some information for advert. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'll just take from one more person. I don't know if okay. Yes, sir.
Hello, we still have 3 hands raised. That
Okay,
of
sir.
Fen Solar Technologies, KZ, and then Lola. I would appreciate if we will recognize them, have them on board, and then continue maybe, because we're running short of time.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Fan Solar Technologies, you have the floor. Can you unmute yourself? Fan Solar Technologies.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
My name is Nathan Fredericks, and I run the business with the business name FEN Technologies and Solutions. I deal on solar installation of solar systems.
That's great.
Procurement of solar products, then maintenance of solar and power backup systems.
Yes.
So
sorry, before you continue, I hope you have gone on the platform and you've introduced yourself so that those of us who want to meet you can actually meet you.
Yes, beautiful.
So please,
that was what
I'll do that
was talking about. Yes.
Great. So please, you can put it there because some people would need, power is actually an essential part of most of what we do. So if you are actually offering such a solutions, I think it's great if you can put your details at the meet one another section so that we can get to see these things. And in case we need your service, we can just call you.
Thank you so much.
All right, sir. So you can continue, sir.
All right. So when I started, actually, there was a moment I don't even have money for adverts. So how I started was that I created a elevator pitch, and I used WhatsApp chat. I created a WhatsApp broadcast. So I broadcasted the pitch through the contact that I have on my phone. Then while I was doing that, I was also doing it on Facebook.
Great.
You send elevator speech. Then on Facebook, I had some pictures of my work installations, and I created short videos.
Great.
So I used this to create a post. The first thing I did on Facebook, instead of marketing it through my account, I created a page on Facebook using the company's name, FEN Technologies. That's my. So I use the page.
Mr. Ayatollah, can you unmute? Can you mute yourself, please? Your interaction is interfering with the class.
Sorry.
Okay, please continue, FEN Technologies.
Thank you. So I posted this on my page, FEN Technologies, that I manage. Then this same page, I have one of my colleagues who is working as a staff with me, though not really a paid staff, but we are working together in the same line of business. So I added him as a manager to the same page on Facebook, so he can help me to do some posts. So one spectacular thing that happened is that while I was actually trying to attract new people to come and patronize me, I noticed that some people that actually knew me in the past, they don't know that this is what I do.
Wow.
So when I made this post and I made this advert on Facebook and WhatsApp, behold, some of them started calling, some started sending messages. Oh, Mr. Freddy, so this is what you do. We don't know. And people that know you tend to patronize you more than others that don't know you. So that is how I started getting patronized. They started giving me small jobs, and I started doing that. So I understand that at a point I started doing the paid version of the advert on Facebook. So and it has really worked for me. Anytime I did any video and
I think he has a little bit of network issue. Or is it from my end?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, it is cracking.
Okay.
Clearly.
Hello?
Okay, then it's from my end, yeah. Okay, yeah, just continue, sir. Continue, sir.
Okay, so that is how I did my social media marketing, and so far it has been working. So for us who are just starting, I also recommend that we try the same. But one thing I would like to recommend is that any post that you share will really go far. So before we share a post, we have to make it enticing. Twist the post up, put it your best, then push it out. Because some people may just snap one picture like that and just post it without knowing that that may be their selling point. So I made those mistakes initially, but I later found out that they are not really, it's not really maximizing my targets. So what I now do is that I arrange my post well, take the best of the pictures. And if I have a short video, I add all of them, then share it as a post on my Facebook page. And it has helped me so far.
Okay, that's great.
All right.
Can we just quick? Is it possible?
Fun solar technologies.
Okay.
Okay. Fun solar technologies. We are grateful for sharing your experience with us. We've run short of time, but then remember we've recognized that Lola has raised her or his hand. So can we briefly take her on or share her own experience before we go to the next something? Lola, you're on the floor.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I'm happy to be part of it this morning. I am into events management.
Okay.
And I've heard when the current instructor said that we can virtually do everything on our own. Presently, I use WhatsApp, especially when I meet a customer, a new customer, my work, I have to advertise myself. This is what I do. And this is a work that is all over. But at times, when I get to some customer, they will say, what's your your website, your web page? I think that's the point that I need to work on mostly. I've sent some things to the Facebook especially when a customer asks let me see the work that you have done before. But you know that this work, do you know that anybody can just pick it and use it? This is what I've done. Since the name is not there, that is like customized work. So that's what and I've heard you said I can do this on my own. That is not something that is,
yes.
That nobody can just pick the work that I've done and maybe give it to a prospective customer that this is what I've done. When it doesn't carry my name. So that's the area that I tell I should work upon.
Okay.
Yes,
so thank you so much for that. So let me just quickly run through some of the things you've said and maybe kind of give you a little bit of advice on what to do.
To create a page and to have a customized page on any work we do. I want it done well, even if I need to maybe contact you or do more training on this. I would like it to be like that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. Let me just, we're actually out of time, so I don't know if the moderator can give me just a few more minutes. Let me just quickly round off. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure most of us are wondering.
Quickly.
Okay, sir. Most of us are wondering why I put this here. Now, it actually has to do with advertisement. There's actually been news that this brand of sugar has actually never really advertised, kind of, but they've always had success. So I wanted it to be an interactive section, but we'll actually run out of time. What I wanted from us is, for those of us who know this product, to have tell us why they actually got so successful without actually having to advertise at all. Almost did not advertise, but because of time, and maybe if we have just a tiny time, we can look at that. But because of time, I just want us to quickly look at this on okay, let me quickly do this. So let me share what I am typing in so you can see it. So I was talking about things that you can learn on your own, and I said YouTube. Now, everything that you need, almost everything that you need is actually on YouTube. So you see what I just did? I just put up my browser, and then I have Google. I just typed in Google and I said YouTube, and then we have it here. Now, do you know that no matter how, there are some questions you may want to ask and you feel, no, I feel this question is too stupid, and then you just keep it to yourself. Well, that's fine, but you can actually have your Google as your friend. You can talk to your friend, which is Google. Ask it that question. There is no way your phone will tell you, why are you asking me that stupid question? You understand? So make the internet your friend. Make the internet your friend. Make YouTube your companion. Very important. Now, you could get so busy. I'm just giving an example though. You could get so busy during the day that maybe when you get home, you have forgotten how to make EBA. Do you know that if you just put on YouTube and just say how to make EBA, it's there? Well, let's even check if it's actually true. Let's not be as if I'm just talking, just giving that. Let me see how to make how to make EBA. Is there? Can you see? It's some people have put this here. So I'm just putting this in as if it's actually something that is too much related to what we are doing. But just to tell you that no matter how stupid you feel your question is, there is an answer to it. So make this internet your friend. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of applications that you pay other people to. As a startup, you may not have all that income, all that money to, hire people to do some of these things for you. For example, Mrs. Lola that has a business and she wants to put watermark on the images that she takes about the businesses that she have done. There are actually applications. You can look at simple applications. You can type in simple applications to make watermarks on your image. They will, this YouTube will bring you a lot of applications that you can use, and they will even teach you how to use it. So you can just see that all you just need is internet connection and all the things you need for your startup are here. Now, somebody talked about attending seminars to kind of boost business proficiency and all of that. If you cannot attend seminars, you can attend seminars on YouTube. Type what you want to learn about. If you heard about, okay, for those of us who have websites, you heard about SEOs, how to ensure that, okay, when somebody types a particular search word on Google, it's your own page that comes first, or your page is part of the first ones that Google suggests to that person. How do you learn that? You type SEO on Google or on YouTube, and you see videos on that. Anything you need videos on, you can actually get from YouTube. So I will encourage every one of us to ensure that we make this internet, make good use of internet. It's not just talk to Facebook where you just work and then look at news alone. You also make use of that. Now, let me run through quickly another thing. Now, if you notice that you have actually, yes, sir, I'll just let me quickly rush. Now, if you notice
carry on.
Okay, sir, if you notice that when you click, you need to be intentional about all the things you do online. For example, when you're on your Facebook, of course, it's not always all about your business. Maybe you have a personal thing, you actually want to buy something, and then you clicked on an advert. Some of us just click on that advert, look at it, and then you go. But maybe for your personal use now. But what you should be doing as a business person is that when you clicked on that advert, you should stop first and then ask yourself a question. Why did I click on this advert? Then if you're able to get that answer, then what actually made me stay long viewing these adverts? then you see how it can be applied to your own business and how it can be applied to your own advertising strategy. Because if that person that put that advice could capture your own attention, then it means that you can capture somebody else's attention with such an advert of your business. So you should be intentional about all the things you do online and look at all these things. No, my own is fully charged. You should, okay, yeah, you should know all the things you are doing. Pay keen attention to what you are doing online so that you can take out from all these big businesses what they do. Some of them just, for example, Glow and all that, they just advertise all the time, and then you just feel like, what are these people doing all the time? Now, what they are not, it's not as if every time they advertise, people buy their SIMs. But this is what happens. Now, I could be an MTN user and I see a Globacom advert. Now, it doesn't mean I'm actually going to go and buy it, but somebody could be could want to buy a particular network that's going to give him more for less. And you know, Glow has found out that Nigerians like a wolf. We want to buy data of 5 naira and use it for 1 year. So that's why they will give us quick, good things that you say, okay, buy 1,000 and get 85 gig. You see people running. Aha. So if I may not buy their SIM, I could see somebody that needs data and has a little bit of money, and based on the advertisement I saw, I'll just tell the person, okay, you can try out Glow. Now, at that point in time, the advert wasn't meant for me, but I was now the carrier of that information. So no advertisement is useless, no matter how little it is. Just ensure that you at least keep on with what you have. Then, what's it? Okay, I really don't have a lot of time. So let me just stop here.